In news from the region, U.S. names new ambassador to Haiti. And internationally, UK registers warmest spring on record. Good evening, I am Leila Langford. Details of the news when we return.
Too often, customers are counted but not valued, like mere numbers, statistics, transactions. But at Flow, we're prioritizing you, our valued customers who have been with us through every milestone, every moment. That's why we're putting our money where your loyalty is. Flow customers claim up to $400 in rewards for smartphones, groceries, and more when you add mobile to your current internet plan. Because loyalty isn't a one-way street. At Flow, loyalty flows both ways.
DBS News.
Welcome back. The Dominica Hospitals Authority has fully activated its disaster plan in light of the official start of the hurricane season. Facilities Manager of the Dominica Hospitals Authority, Doreen Fabian, says a recent assessment shows both hospital facilities are prepared to provide services before, during, and after a disaster.
The DHA want to reassure the general public of our commitment to provide uninterrupted quality service at our hospitals before, during, and after a disaster. Currently, our bed capacity stands at 262 with an average of 30 beds per ward with 2 isolation rooms per ward. The disaster plan for the hospital has been updated and circulated to all managers and the Ministry of Health. The disaster plan includes departmental plans, action plans, and staff lists. Sensitization of staff in various departments has commenced with plans to have focus group activities throughout the hurricane season. Refresher courses in radio communication were held very early in May, ahead of the official start of the hurricane season for the Emergency Operating Center members as well as the alternate officers. Disaster boxes in all departments are being reviewed and updated. In terms of our structure, reassessment of both facilities using the PAHO Rapid Assessment Tool for Operations and Physical Plan was recently completed. The assessment indicated that Dominica China Friendship Hospital and American Hospital are adequately equipped to continue to provide healthcare services as part of our disaster response.
Facilities Manager of the Dominica Hospitals Authority, Doreen Fabian. The government of Dominica has invested over $130 million into the development of the agriculture sector over the last 5 years. Minister for Agriculture Roland Royer says agriculture is a key pillar of national development. He was addressing a national rally of the Dominica Labour Party in Dobla on Sunday.
We have supported 4,500 farmers with inputs, equipment, and planting material valued at $18 million, brothers and sisters. We have provided engines to over 100 Ficker folks valued at $2 million. An additional $3 million invested in building boats for our fisher folks. And $8 million was invested in revitalizing our livestock sector. So in total, over the past 5 years, we have spent $130 million in the agriculture sector. But brothers and sisters, let me speak plainly. Feeding ourselves is not easy, but we are also committed for sustainable practices. Our investment in irrigation systems and climate-smart agriculture is already making a difference. For example, the Salisbury irrigation system is complete and is ensuring farmers in Salisbury so that they can provide water in the drought season. On the infrastructure front, we are making bold strides. The $7.5 million citrus certification facility is underway in Londonderry. The $6.4 million national abattoir in Layu Park is nearing completion, which is part of our short-term strategy to reduce poultry and pork imports by 30% by 2030.
Minister for Agriculture Roland Royer. Minister for National Security and Home Affairs, Reuben Blackmore, has reiterated a call for disaster management and mitigation to be included in Dominica's education curriculum. He made this call during the launch of the 2025 Hurricane Awareness Week held this morning. The 2025 Atlantic hurricane season officially began yesterday.
What we are trying to do, as I've said before, I want to re-emphasize that for emphasis, that we have to make the whole issue of disaster management and mitigation part of our school program. We have to do that. And last week, the Prime Minister mentioned about the need for us to relook at our programs at the schools. Placing emphasis on the primary schools is very important to me. But of course, we have to start with our children because hurricanes, we are prone to hurricanes. And if they are taught some of the rudimentary stuff, it's going to assist us, all of us. A couple of weeks ago, going to the various schools in the various districts, I want to commend the ODM department for already doing that and starting with the children, having different plays, etc., having debates on the fundamentals of the disaster management. And those are the things that we have to do to create a national psyche and for us to stand firm together as a community and as a country in the event we are struck again by any serious disaster.
Minister for National Security and Home Affairs, Reuben Blackmore. Senior Met Officer Itoma James says Dominicans should be prepared for an above-normal and active hurricane season this year.
The hurricane season for 2025, the predictions are, again, for another above-normal season. So we expect 13 to 19 named storms, 6 to 10 of which are expected to be hurricanes, and 3 to 5 above Category 3, which makes them major hurricanes. With that information being given to people, I really just want the public to understand that this prediction is not for landfall. Nothing in this prediction determines which hurricane, or if any at all, will make landfall. But it does go to let us know that the season is expected to be a bit active, and we should by all means be prepared, but expect there can be damage, and we should do everything necessary to be ready in the case it does happen.
Senior Met Officer Itoma James. The Office of Disaster Management today recognized 22 institutions and organizations as disaster heroes. This formed part of activities planned to observe Hurricane Awareness Week. In other news, a number of Dominicans will receive keys to new homes for Christmas 2025. Minister for Housing, Melissa Popon-Skerrit, says over 200 government-funded homes are currently under construction. Mrs. Skerrit was addressing a national rally of the Dominica Labour Party on Sunday.
Under the Housing Recovery Project, we handed over 330 homes, and 52 now are under construction. As we speak, 286 homes are also under construction, and the majority of these homes will be handed over before Christmas or by Christmas. What better Christmas gift can you get than a brand new home? Remember, there were hundreds who were squatting on government's land for years. Government came, government go. Not one of them got titles to their land. Labour Party, in its quest to bring dignity and land ownership to every Dominican, regularize hundreds of Dominicans across the island. And today, these very same hundreds of people are bearers of titles. They have titles in their hand, land that they can pass on to their children as they now own a piece of this great nation.
Minister for Housing, Melissa Popon-Skerrit. The 2025-2026 budget presentation will make provision to tackle the cost of living in Dominica. The announcement came from Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit when he addressed the 70th anniversary rally of the Dominica Labour Party at Dubla yesterday. Mr. Skerrit said a consultation will be convened to discuss Dominica's cost of living.
So I hear you when you tell me about high prices. I want to break it down and see how, as a people, we can cut and contrive. I will see what the Minister of Finance can do. I will see what the shipping agencies can do. I will see what the wholesalers can do. But very importantly, You, the consumer, will also have to play your part by managing your spending, focusing these days on your needs and not just what you want. Give priority to your health, give priority to your shelter, and very importantly, shop around and make your dollar stretch. But I propose in the weeks ahead to convene a very focused consultation on the issue of cost of living in Dominica. And I will tell you from now that the Minister of Finance will deal with it frontally in his budget address in July, ladies and gentlemen, the issue of cost of living in Dominica.
Mr. Skerry told the 70th anniversary rally of his party that he will take action to address concerns among Labour Party supporters.
I want to say to the people of Dominica, and particularly the people of Labour tonight, that I am listening to you. I pay very close attention to what the ground is saying, and I have demonstrated to you in the past my capacity to do what has to be done to keep this Labour ship sailing through choppy waters. I speak to you, and you tell me what pleases you and the concerns and upsets you have. I speak to you, and you tell me who around me is working to your satisfaction and who is not delivering in a manner that you would like them to deliver. I am here to say to you tonight that I have heard you, I have reflected, and I will act. I will not act tonight, but rest assured, Roosevelt Skerrit, as the Prime Minister and party leader, will act, ladies and gentlemen.
Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. Meantime, Prime Minister of Barbados and CARICOM's chairman, Mia Motley, who was a guest speaker at the DLP 70th anniversary rally, has called for unity among the people of the Caribbean.
And the first thing I say to you as Caribbean people is that we have to find common purpose and work together. Because if we are stronger together, then it means we can achieve objectives together, working together. And what it means is that there are some things that we must do together. We have to be able to make sure that we can work together to get a better deal for our countries. We cannot build schools and hospitals, clinics, water reservoirs with 10-year money and 15-year money. It is too short. When you go to borrow for a house, you look to borrow for 20 years and 25 years because you need the time stretch out to pay back for the house. Well, the government is no different. But if the government is only getting 10-year money overseas, it means that by the time you go now to fix your next set of problems, you tie up, and choke up with debt. You have to stretch it out. And that is what we have been fighting for in the Bridgetown Initiative, that we need longer debt, that we need cheaper debt, because we need to build countries for our people. And if we build countries where our people want to stay, nobody ain't looking to go foreign, nobody ain't looking to go US or UK. And that is why we make the point as a Caribbean region that we have to stick together.
Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Motley. Waste management in the north of Dominica will be significantly improved following the return of a garbage truck to active duty in the Portsmouth area. The Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation says the garbage truck underwent critical repairs made possible through funding from the government of Dominica. With its return, residents of the north are expected to see a smoother, more efficient residential waste collection. In an effort to foster tourism awareness among youth, Dominica has once again been invited to participate in the Florida Caribbean Cruise Association's annual essay and poster competitions for 2025. Both competitions will be conducted in two divisions, the junior and the senior division.
The Florida Caribbean Cruise Association's 2025 essay and poster competitions are now open, and Dominica is once again invited to participate. This year's themes: If I were a cruise passenger, what would I like to see or do in my country? And how to protect the marine environment from land-based activities. Encourage students to think critically about tourism and environmental stewardship. The Ministry of Tourism and the Discover Dominica Authority urge schools to support student participation and submit entries by Monday, June 30th, 2025. Let us continue to nurture creativity, national pride, and a deeper understanding of the value of our island's resources.
Communications and Public Relations Specialist of Discover Dominica Authority, Monel Alexis. That's the national focus, regional and international developments up next.
Too often, customers are counted but not valued. Like mere numbers, statistics, transactions. But at Flow, we're prioritizing you, our valued customers who have been with us through every milestone, every moment. That's why we're putting our money where your loyalty is. Flow customers claim up to $400 in rewards for smartphones, groceries, and more when you add mobile to your current internet plan. Because loyalty isn't a one-way street. At Flow, loyalty flows both ways.
DBS News.
In news from the region, the United States has named Henry Wooster as the new ambassador to Haiti. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said that Ambassador Henry Wooster will take on the role of charge d'affaires at the United States Embassy in Haiti beginning June 12. He has been charged with leading a whole-of-government approach to U.S. policy on Haiti. Last month, Rubio said Washington was reconsidering its policy towards Haiti, where criminal gangs are seeking to overthrow the government, with the United States also taking aim at the Organization of American States, OAS, for not doing much more to effectively deal with the crisis in the French-speaking CARICOM country. And internationally, Met Office figures show that the UK has recorded its warmest spring on record and its driest in more than 50 years. It was also the sunniest spring on record for Scotland and Wales and the second sunniest in England since the number of hours of sunshine began to be recorded in 1910. Spring is the fastest warming season in the UK, with the average temperature having increased by 1.8 Celsius since 1970. That's news. The DBS Evening Sports Report up next with Gavin Richards.
Covering the nation and beyond. DBS Sports Report.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Well, good evening. I'm Gavin Richards with the DBS Evening Sports Report, and we're going to bowl off with some cricket news as the West Indies have named a full-strength team for the upcoming T20 series against England, which starts on Friday. Well, the series will be the first series with the new captain, Shea Hope, in charge of the team. Andre Russell makes a return to the squad, and the former captain, Rovman Powell, has also been included in the side. The team will be without Nicholas Pooran, who was asked to be rested. Well, the full West Indies team is Shea Hope, the captain, Johnson Charles, Ruston Chase, Matthew Ford, Shimron Hetmeyer, Jason Holder, Akil Hussain, Alzari Joseph, Brandon King, the vice-captain, Evan Lewis, Gudakesh Moti, Rovman Powell, Andre Russell, Shofin Rutherford, and Romario Shepherd. Meantime, the team will see some changes for the T20 series against Ireland, which starts on the 12th of June. Casey Carty and Jade Gooley will replace Brandon King and Ruston Chase for that T20 series. That T20 team is Shea Hope as the captain, Casey Carty, Johnson Charles, Matthew Ford, Jade Gooley, Shimron Hetmaya, Jason Holder, Akil Hussein, Alzari Joseph, Evan Lewis, Gudakesh Moti, Rovman Powell, Shufin Rutherford, and Romario Shepard. Well, let's stay with cricket news as the West Indies batsman Casey Carty says he's enjoying his promotion to the number 3 position on the West Indies ODI team. Carty registered his 4th ODI century for the West Indies in their defeat to England on Sunday. Carty, who's averaging 49 runs per innings in his ODI career so far, says that he's been putting in the work.
Just paying attention to detail, growing in the nets and working on the things that the coaching staff feel like we need to be efficient at to be able to produce at a high level in international cricket. And that's just it.
How do you guys lift yourselves up for Tuesday's game?
Well, we put up a good fight. We carried the game down to 48 over. So it's just to see where we could make up those 20 to 40 runs in our next performance and just try and play every game again.
And that's the West Indies batsman Casey Carty. Well, Carty says he's not giving up on Test cricket and he's hoping that his performances can earn him a call-up.
But I would like to play Test cricket. As of right now, I'm not sure if I'm going to be selected for that series. I did give myself a strong claim in the recent 40 tournament gone by, and some guys scored runs, and I always believe you should reward people for their hard work. But I definitely do want to play Test cricket, or more Test cricket.
And that's the West Indies ODI batsman Casey Carty. In some more news from the ODI format with the West Indies and England, Shufin Rutherford has been added to the West Indies team for the 3rd and final ODI, which gets underway tomorrow. Rutherford arrived in London on Sunday following his stint in the IPL. Remember, the West Indies are trailing 2-0 in that 3-match series. They've already lost the series. The 3rd and final ODI gets underway tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock. Caribbean time. Some more cricket news where the South Africa A-team captain Marquez Ackerman hit a double century. As South Africa, they're in a commanding position in their 4-day matchup with the West Indies A-team in St. Lucia. The South Africans punished the West Indian bowling as they batted for the entire day today. Resuming from an overnight score of 68 without loss, South Africa reached 546 for 6 at stumps today. Ackerman got 209, Moonsamy 68 not out, Jason Smith 56, and Jordan Herman 52. OJ Shields, he has 2 for 90 so far for the West Indies A-team, and the Carey pair 1 for 105. Earlier, the West Indies A-team, they made 240, with Tevin Imlach getting 61 and Micaiah Louis 57. So the scores as we head into day 3, it's South Africa A-team 546 for 6 at stumps on day 2. And of course, the West Indies 240. South Africa, they're leading by 306 runs. Let's turn our attention to basketball news this evening. The DABA reigning knockout champions, the 767 Sports Club Dominators, and the defending league champions, the Detroit Blazers, will test their might against regional competition as they participate in the Creole Basketball Champions Northern Conference starting in Dominica this weekend, where the competition will get underway on Friday at the Massac Indoor Facility, and the tournament will feature 6 teams, 2 teams from Dominica, 2 teams from Martinique, and 2 teams from Guadeloupe. Head coach of the 767 Sports Club Dominators team, Dunstan Maggie Peters, feels confident that the Dominators will do well. The Dominators have been strengthened with the addition of 2 US-based players.
We're in a group with GGB from Guadeloupe and the Eagles from Guyana. GGB, we're kind of familiar with them to a certain extent, but the Eagles, we don't have a clue as to, but we're ready for anything. The team is, we've been training, coming off that preseason championship. We want to continue in that same vein, continue in that, in that same regard. We have a few new added pieces. We have added the leading scorer for G Alliance, Sherwin Williams, who will bring some firepower to us. And we also have 2 US-based players, 2 foreign-based players joining us in Miles Weber and Jeremy Lewis. So we're really looking to make a good mark. They're looking to go all the way. We're looking to qualify and go to the finals in August in Guadeloupe, Guadeloupe. Yeah, we're looking to dominate, like our name says, Dominators. We're looking to really dominate and really cement ourselves in the basketball.
Head coach of the 767 Sports Club Dominators team, Dunstan Maggie Peters, while the Dominators team reads Tillon Birmingham, Andrel Desborn, Kelsey Guy, McCrae Edwards, Bernard Mills, Wakami Fabian, Sergey Joseph, Ron Abraham, Sherwin Williams, Jeremy Lewis, Miles Weber, Abdul Sanderson, Andel Olivachi, Charlton Charles, Dylan Grant, McNeil Joseph, and Keoma Telemark. Well, let's move on to some cricket news. I should say back to cricket news, as the KFC Summits have captured their first ever Premier League title as they won the 2025 NCCU Dominica Cricket Association's Premier League Championship on the weekend. The Summits officially lifted the title yesterday despite their match with the Kalinago Blasters ending in a draw at the Benjamin's Park. Well, the Summits captain Elton Mark says that the club is elated to have won their first ever championship.
Winning undefeated, going a whole season undefeated, I mean, that means that guys really put out their best foot. I mean, we had a lot of good performances. We have Neil Davis getting some runs and Jason Vidal getting some wickets. Other guys chipping in, and it's a real pleasure. Guys putting out their best, man. Forget Kevin Hodge, special mention must be made to him. Getting 100 in a game that really matters. And I mean, he have cheered us on from far. He keep us going, and it was a pleasure. A lot of guys said it was a pleasure to play with Kevin Hodge, Stefan Pascal. I mean, we have some real pedigree within our ranks. So it was really good. It was really, really, really good. Gratitude to our coach Ben, who has really been pushing us. And it's a pleasure that we could bring in our first Premier League championship. We have won the Intermediate League before, but I think we were all pushing towards the Premier League, and he has kept us on our toes. And you know a guy like Ben, he don't mess around when it comes to his cricket,
And that's the Summit's captain, the KFC Summit's captain, Elton Mark, KFC Summit's head coach, Augustine Beno Pascal.
The boys have been toiling for many, many years. I mean, I've been somebody that has been trying to keep a set of young guys together for you can say, for eternity. And finally, that's culminated in a championship in the Premier League. We have won an intermediate championship, where we had a situation where we had a set of little fellas, basically young cricketers, 12, 13, 14 years. We played 4 years in intermediate, and we basically, won the championship that time. We were planning that the next project was supposed to have been into the Premier League, but we had a serious drawback. We had a couple fellas who were main pillars of our championship run for the intermediate. They left us and went to another team, 2 of them, in fact. And that, we had to go back to the drawing board. We stayed patient, we put in the work. But one of the things that was really, I was trying to push was a culture of people taking responsibility for the club. Take responsibility for the club, and I think fellas finally buy into that idea. And the other thing I was always preaching, like, you have to show your character. I mean, you've played for some years, you've been around, you know what we're trying to achieve. And finally, it just, was in place this season. This season, everything just worked out.
And that's the KFC Summit's head coach, Augustine Beno Pascal. Well, we can stay with cricket news because the curtains will come down tomorrow on the 2025 Secondary Schools Under-15 Cricket Championships at the Benjamin's Park. Of course, the finals will feature the Northeast Comprehensive up against the Castlebruce Secondary School. And these two schools advanced following some weeks of competition in the sports division's Under-15 Cricket Championships. The Northeast Comprehensive, they obtained the automatic spot in the finals after securing the top spot from the round-robin phase of the competition, while Castlebruce Secondary School had to beat the St. Mary's Academy in the playoff match last week to advance to tomorrow's finals. So it's the Northeast Comprehensive up against the Castlebruce Secondary School. Finals of the Sports Division Secondary Schools Under-15 Cricket Championships, and that game is taking place tomorrow at the Benjamin's Park. And we can end with some volleyball news as the defending men's Division 1 champions in the KFC National Volleyball League Club 1. They are just one win away from a spot in the finals of that competition after they picked up a hard-fought win in Game 1 of their semi-finals against the Young Vets on the weekend. Club 1 took the first set 25-19, but the Young Vets bounced back